What is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another episode of The Kingdom Says. I am your host, as always, Garrett Williams, and I am just joined by my one usual co-host today on my left. You're right, Kyle Henning. Kyle, how are we doing tonight, sir?
It's just me. It's just me by myself with you.
Here we are.
It's just the two of us. What do you know? There's probably some song from Taylor about that, I'm sure. Guys, I'm good. I mean, we destroyed the Bears. Travis and Jason's podcast episode did like 1 million views in like 4 hours.
That was a good episode. It was.
A bunch of guys. The injury report is a bit alarming, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. I'm overall in a good mood, ready to get on to the Jets game. I cannot believe this is a primetime game. I know why it was a primetime game.
Man, it would have been a great primetime game had Aaron Rodgers played more than 4 snaps as a Jet.
We're never getting it. We're just never. I know he's coming. I know he's coming back next year.
He's already out of the walking boot from what I saw.
Well, that's great. Maybe the orca whale mating sounds he was listening to or helping or whatever.
I think it might be. I think he has cracked the code. I think he.
But I guess we're just never getting this game.
It's never gonna happen. I mean, unless like I said on the last episode, if he comes back next season, which I think he will, they need to have it.
Have to be the playoffs, right?
Just what of next year?
Well, the Jets aren't going to be.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with rotations. But
the division winner
also, the division winner. So they're not going to do that. So NFL needs to just pull some strings next year and make it week 1. So there's no way that it can possibly not happen. Like the NFL needs to do a service to everybody to make Mahomes Rodgers happen. Because it's never going to
have it announced. Have announcers. Rodgers announces his farewell tour year, and then they just give him a special. They get the special schedule just to put in rivalries and matchups they want.
Maybe even just a farewell game. You know, just hey guys, I'm playing one game. It's against the Chiefs, and then I'm going out. You know, something like that. Anyways, so yeah, if it hasn't been clear already, we're playing the Jets this week, Sunday Night Football, with a very, very special guest confirmed in the building. Yeah, Sunday night in New York, New Jersey. It's in the Meadowlands.
It's at MetLife.
MetLife, not the Meadowlands. Dang.
Because the Meadowlands, I don't think exists anymore because they knocked it down.
Yeah, great stadium though. That was a great stadium.
It was.
Also, what was that other old ballpark in New York that had the really long the Polo Grounds or something like that?
Well, I mean, Yankee Stadium, the original.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium was there. New York's had some good stadiums.
Knocked down, but to build the new Yankee Stadium. But the Garden is there. That's the main one. That's the main. That's the main. That's like the biggest stage in the world.
That's actually in New York.
Yeah,
as opposed to MetLife, which is in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Right, and the Meadowlands, which also I think used to be in Jersey.
Probably.
That whole area is so close together right there. I don't know.
Why are they different states?
The rest of the state is huge. No, the state of New York is massive. The area in which New York City, New Jersey, and the rest of that little conglomerate of things is so packed together.
New York, the entire state. There's more people that live on the island of New York than the actual like state itself, on just that big island. Yeah. So it's like, what's the point of having the rest of the state? They should be separate, you know?
Yeah. Well. That would change lots of things.
Just cut off a little bit of where all New York City is, and then
I don't know if the rest of New York wants that because that's a lot of revenue that goes to the state there, boss. I think you should.
Well, yeah. My camera just froze. Hold on.
Yeah, it did. It's all right. We'll work through that. But it's going to be a little bit of an interesting game, mostly because I don't know if the Jets know what they're gonna do with Zach Wilson.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an interesting matchup. Because obviously, the Jets. This Jets team, in their current state, not very good. I mean, their defense is pretty good. They honestly have a pretty decent
solid. They may have some trouble Sunday because one of their starting safeties isn't playing. But is likely not playing. He's been did not participate 2 straight days. Tony Adams.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a factor there, but. It's just really the problem has been the offense it's tough when you sell out your entire offense to have a Hall of Fame quarterback in it and then you have your bust of a first-round pick who's still there. I mean, they kind of did it to themselves by having Zach Wilson like still there. They really should have just probably got rid of him.
I gotta be honest. I kind of don't disagree with Dan on they gotta start letting him do things and just figuring it out, because you've kept it because of what they've done, and they've kept him at this point. You've backed yourself into a corner now where you're either going to sit there and watch your defense get bludgeoned every week, and the rest of your guys look around and go, what are we doing? Or you're going to take the gloves off and let him at least try to throw the ball and try to do things.
Well,
because
the thing, though, I don't know
if you don't, well, it doesn't matter. You spent a second-round pick on the guy like 2 years ago.
First-round pick.
Sorry, not a second-round pick. Yeah. The second pick in the first round.
Second overall.
That's what I meant to say. I apologize. So there's that. You gave him a year, and then you brought in Aaron Rodgers. Basically.
Yeah. Well, it's been he's been in there for 3 years now?
He was behind Sam Darnold. Remember the other guy they drafted who was a complete train wreck for them? Because it seems to be a trend in New York. I don't know that Zach Wilson hasn't been good. Correct. Zach Wilson also hasn't had, like Dan said it, they don't let him do anything in that offense. They are the most boring, predictable thing on earth because they won't let him do anything.
Yeah,
I get it.
Part of that.
Man, as a franchise that had absolute, and pardon my language, but shit quarterback after shit quarterback after shit quarterback for a long time, I understand. But I also understood when they would just let them throw the ball and see what happened, because, God, it was better than just watching us die a blatantly boring death every single day.
It's
I don't envy their position. I've been in it. I just don't know why you put yourself in that position. But once you do, you got to let him play. I think they probably should
have just got rid of him in the offseason. You
got to let him play, though. Now that you kept him, and now that you thought you were going to let him learn under Aaron for a couple years, now you got to let him go this year, because he's going to sit behind him again next year, or you're getting rid of him. One of the two.
Probably get rid of him then.
You would think, but we thought that was happening.
I do think the idea sounds great, but I just don't know if even
I don't know if this is the week to do it.
Fly. Oh yeah,
that's the problem.
But letting him let it fly and do his own thing, I don't think that's going to work too well. Really, I think
this week it's a bad idea.
It's tough.
That's the problem
because he spent the entire offseason obviously as QB2, so he didn't get a lot of reps in this new offense. Because it's a new offense with Nathaniel Hackett there. So I mean, it's just one of those things that you have to.
He looked fine in preseason. He was throwing the ball in preseason.
A full shot and had a fresh start on a team that you could actually sit down and learn the offense and cater it around him. With that being said, I don't think
it is definitely not built for him,
especially this week. I mean,
maybe you can't do it. And I should preface, all the things I just said about what they need to do with him, you can't do that this week.
You can just throw that out this week because it's not going to work. I mean, honestly, if I'm the Jets, I don't know what the game plan is going into this game. I guess you just kind of run the ball a lot. I guess
run the ball, play defense,
great trap plays, and some counters.
Run the ball,
some crack toss,
play defense, hope.
Yeah,
that's basically what their strategy is.
The Jets really should be just wrap some of their guys in bubble wrap and just be just no one get hurt. Just go 70% speed out there.
Jesus, I kind of want to say the same thing about us though. Nothing. Yeah. I'm not trying to say take the game lightly, but that field has claimed several prominent members of the NFL.
Yeah,
with things. I don't love the field we're playing on. B, shall we go through the Chiefs' injury report for this?
We shall. Lead us through it.
Noah Gray did not practice both days with an illness. Nick Bolton did not practice both days with an ankle. This is week 2 of that now. Chris Jones, limited. Now, the thing with limited in the NFL, if they take one less snap than their normal allotted practice snaps, they are limited. Okay. Kadarius Toney, limited. If you listen to Only Weird Games, Nate gave a little bit of an update on that. Seems that Kadarius is very spry and looks to be feeling fine, but it looks to be he was more limited for Rashid to get more run with the first offense, to get more reps.
Yeah. Kadarius is always looking spry, and then he steps foot on the field and he doesn't look spry anymore.
He looked fine last week. They just didn't use him much until the swelling or whatever. Mike Edwards was. Now, here's where we're going to get to a bunch of guys that were full participants, but are on the injury report. And one of the names, do not panic. Everybody breathe. Okay? We watched it happen. We knew it was a thing. He had to get treatment on it this week, so they have to put him on the injury report. Okay?
Mike Edwards?
Yeah, definitely Mike Edwards, yes. Mike Edwards is on the list.
Your interception leader of the team. He's going to be fine, I think.
Patrick Mahomes. Brian Cook, Willie Gay, Nick Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, all full participants both days. No. All full participants both days, all just getting treatment still from either things they've had or things we literally saw happen, Patrick's ankle, in the game.
Yeah.
Donovan Smith was full on Wednesday and limited today with that rib injury we saw him suffer. I think it means he was feeling a little banged up, and here's my other portion of this, much like they're doing with, I think Nate said, with Kadarius Toney and Rashee Rice, because Prince Tega Wanoga is now out for several games, they've got 2 tackles they need to get reps at left tackle in case the worst case scenario happens and Wanye Morris or Lucas Niang has to come in and play left tackle.
Yeah.
So, that said, I think maybe some of Donovan's limited today was, hey, you did fine yesterday. Maybe it's a little tender. We're okay. You take a few plays off. We're going to get these dudes a few snaps so that they can get some more reps. And then you have L'Jarius, who was a full participant both days, but obviously going to always probably be on this injury report because they're going to be constantly working on his knee. Jalen Watson is a little bit of a concern. He was a full participant Wednesday. He showed up and was a non-participant today.
Yeah.
And then Justin Watson was full both days with an ankle.
Yeah, so a lot of names. Definitely a lot of names. So it's going to be interesting to see, if this game kind of gets out of hand early, we might just bench these guys.
Another script of last week that killed everyone who bet on the Chiefs, like yardage parlays and things of that nature. Yeah, that'd be good for business.
And then the Jets injury report, they have Tony Adams.
That's the big one.
Like Kyle said, their starting safety.
That's their biggest one.
He has been DNP the past 2 days with a hamstring injury. So that's a concerning one for their secondary for sure, especially you have to try to guard Travis Kelce and all the boys. I mean, you want those guys to be starting. You got Wes Schweitzer, a backup O-lineman who's been DNP the past 2 days with a concussion.
But that's a backup O-lineman to a line that's been very poor, and they were playing him for a reason. Like he got a concussion, I believe, during the game last week because he was actively in the game last week because they were having
that O-line's going to need all the help they can get.
And then the next guy you're getting ready to mention right after him.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton with a knee. He was limited on Wednesday, full on Thursday. Brees Hall was limited with the knee, and then a full on Thursday.
They're still bringing him back.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be kind of a – he hasn't had the biggest season so far. So
they've barely used him. He got 4 carries. He's not happy. He feels like he's healthy. Brees is a Wichita kid, so I really hope he does well. I just don't hope it's this week.
Yeah, so he's a really good young player, but he's been getting worked back. And last year before he had that injury, he was popping off. So. And then their kicker, Greg Zuerlein, was full participant both days. Michael Clemens was full and then not even listed on Thursday. So probably just the biggest thing we won't see is Tony Adams and Wes Schweitzer.
That's those two are the big. And then obviously Mekhi being nicked up with a knee injury is not exactly what you want when you're playing this team right now, which is weird to say.
I think they had to move him around last week too a little bit.
That's why Schweitzer was playing and then got concussed, and that's why other pieces. That offensive line is.
Yeah, so I mean, let's talk.
I hope Chris is growing is okay.
Yeah, because this is going to be.
Because Chris is going to want this game.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just saw it.
Not the 16 snaps he got against the Bears.
Saw it Thursday Night Football tonight with the Packers. Just their offensive line getting absolutely manhandled by the Lions D-line. I feel like it might be a similar script we will see on Sunday night. Good luck to the Jets O-line because, like we've talked about on the show already, this D-line is is something different this year. And it might be, let's just say Zach Wilson might be getting, especially also everything we talked about with Charles a couple of days ago. Steve Spagnuolo is just going to be in his bag, probably send the young guy everything he can, giving him looks he ain't never seen before, going back to way back to where, he's from BYU. Like, he ain't sending blitzes at versus BYU. It's it might be a tough day for Zach Wilson and the boys on offense.
If they make them throw the football, if the Chiefs make the Jets throw the football, and what I mean by that is the offense comes out and is not asleep for the first quarter and puts up 14, 17 points and gets out in a hurry, and they make them throw the ball. This is going to be a very similar script to what we just watched last Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a kind of a boring game for most of the world because a lot of people are going to be tuned in.
Nope. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be lots of shots of Taylor Swift and Chris Collinsworth talking about Taylor Swift.
I cannot wait for that.
Oh God,
Collinsworth talking about the different Taylor this week than he did.
I did put out a tweet though that said that Collinsworth will be talking about a Taylor, but not the one he was talking about on week 1 as much.
Sure, hope so. I mean, hopefully we don't have to talk about that other Taylor too much.
All right, so it's been discussed even more because Joe Cullen talked or Andy Heck talked today. Sorry, Cullen's on the other side. All the coordinators and line coaches and position coaches and all those folks talked at press conferences today. There was more discussion. There was more disingenuous conversation on the radio from folks. There was more nonsense of the same thing. I know 4 hours is a lot to fill, but some of these guys, I tweeted it today. Like, some people are not built for 4 hours. 4 hours of daily content. It is, and it's for the people that do it and do it well. It's a really hard thing to do. I'm really glad you're good at it. There are some folks that do it that are not good at it. Anyway, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to go down that road, but it's just nauseating.
4-hour host of any local.
There's lots of 4-hour hosts, lots of places that I listen to.
Yeah,
national, local. Some of the national ones aren't good either.
Listen to you for all 4 hours.
Some of the national ones aren't good either, and they get paid a lot more than the local guys do. So
Washington Nationals aren't very good either, I think.
That's a separate subject. It's become a bit ridiculous because Andy and Patrick, I thought, had already covered this in depth. They have decided to pick on Juwan Taylor at this point. They proved it last week. We'll see if the NFL now makes the adjustment and the crews now make the adjustment, because Juwan Taylor made the adjustment and then they proved it, as our good friend Charles pointed out on the last episode. If you missed that, go listen. It's there.
That was a much better episode than this one will probably be.
It is what it is, but I just feel like we continue to beat this dead horse. And this is what and I said this when the NFL did this in the first week. The NFL wanted this. Now they're going to get this. This has become a talking point that they should have never wanted to highlight, and now they've highlighted it. Now you've got people drawing diagrams on every offensive line and every tackle group in the league of, well, this guy's 3 yards off the ball. That guy's like this. This is what you wanted. You wanted to nitpick this crap, right?
I mean, it's classic NFL officiating. I mean, they suck.
They can't get critical, important things right. Like, I don't know, throwing flags before the other teams are trying to finish a change of possession. No, that happened tonight where they called a penalty on Quay Walker after both special teams units for the kickoff were on the field because they couldn't decide whether or not he jumped from a yard or half a yard over the center.
Yeah, I mean, no one ever argued that NFL officiating was competent. But it's very frustrating.
It's becoming.
Luckily, last year it kind of really, or last week it didn't really matter because we were already blowing them out. But
sure, that's also why Andy had time to do it
in a big time game. That it actually coming down like it happened in Detroit. He got called literally the last drive of the game. It's like, come on, we just need a little bit of consistency here. And
Andy asked for that, and it made me laugh. It made me laugh. Andy was like, "Can we just get consistency?" And everybody that's watched this league for the last 5 years looking around, going, "That's what we've been asking for a decade."
Somehow the NFL is still just like, you know what? No, how about no? Huh?
It is what it is. So I don't know that this Jets defense is a legitimate defense. They are a very good defense.
Yeah, Quentin Williams is a dog.
The problem for the Jets is the defense has spent 90% of the time on the field this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're out there for 12, 13, 14 drives when
I mean,
you're just gassed every single time.
Roll through this defense.
3 and out,
Jermaine Johnson, Carl Lawson, Will McDonald on one edge. Quentin Jefferson, Quentin Williams, Solomon Thomas, Al Woods down the middle.
A healthy stretch.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy, by the way. He was like the second overall pick, third.
Yeah,
second,
he was up there. Apparently, according to Jets fans, their D line actually has a very strong rotation to it, so that's why. But
Franklin Myers, Michael Clemens. I keep getting told that Bryce Huff is the greatest pass rusher in the league. I got yelled at by somebody about that.
I don't know where you're seeing this propaganda.
I got yelled at in the Chiefs spaces because we needed to go trade for Bryce Huff because Chris Jones wasn't playing, and Bryce Huff's the best pass rusher in the league. So
of course
that's what I got told. I got yelled at and tweeted at and all kinds of things. It was a good time. I mean, they have like C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Michael Carter II, Sauce at the corner.
Sauce.
DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead. We're familiar with Jordan Whitehead. We've dealt with Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah.
Tony Adams not playing. This is where Adrian Amos is going to have to play.
Adrian Amos, yeah. Surprised they don't have like Dan Sorensen or something as their backup safety, No.
It's going to be tough. That I genuinely feel for this Jets defense because I think they're a legitimate defense that's just going to spend a whole year getting left on the field and hung out to dry. And there's not a lot they can do about it.
Not really. No. I mean, it is kind of, especially going the Chiefs team that's actually figured it out now. Now their offense is starting to click and they know what they're doing again.
Here's my other problem concern. Like, okay, Garrett, you've got Sauce. Who else who's he covering? Who are you putting him on? Who are you eliminating from this Chiefs offense?
Yeah, that's the big question because I mean, there's really no clear wide
receiver. Your receiver.
Probably Justin Watson. Honestly, you got to eliminate Justin Watson.
You're gonna put Sauce Gardner on Justin Watson?
Good luck. Hey, stop him, huh?
It's got to be a BS, right? It's got to be the deep guy. Got to make Sauce run all day.
Probably, that seems to be the trend. Really, this first 3 weeks is they really just target the or they focus on MVS as the main receiver to take away.
Okay. That's fine. You now have a backup safety tasked with handling Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work, especially with Taylor Swift in the house. I mean, he might go for 100.
Your other option, and C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams are fine. Michael Carter II, their nickel back because they play the defense they play. Their base defense has a nickel. I think their base is a nickel because they literally have their depth chart listed with a nickel. Great. But you're not covering Travis Kelce with that. I'm not. You're not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Jets fans. This might be a slaughtering. For the defense, unfortunately.
I don't.
A rude wake up call.
And because they're going to be on the field so much,
they're
going to be able to run the ball on them too because they're going to be tired.
Yeah, they are.
And this game had a lot more interest to me 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, sure is kind of a snooze fest at this point. I mean, it's going to be a fun game for Chiefs fans.
I really hope we're not wrong and just look like idiots and asses out here. But the way this game breaks down is if that's how this works, the Chiefs likely just shot themselves in the foot over and over again.
Yeah, I mean that's how it always is. Really, when the Chiefs lose, it ain't never the other team. But I don't know.
This would be one of those. Holy crap! Did everybody just sleep through the first 3/4 of the game? Like it would be one of those.
Yeah, which I mean, we've seen crazier things. This is
what's your God. I want to talk about the matchup on the offense for our defense against their offense, but I just don't know what to talk about.
There's just it's going to be a smothering, really. I mean, the corners, you got Trent McDuffie probably going up against Garrett Wilson. That's probably going to be.
Spags isn't going to make him travel. It's just going to be wherever he lines up because.
Right. Yeah.
To be honest with you, the only matchup that I think they really need to make sure happens is Joshua Williams on Allen Lazard.
Yeah.
Snead and Trent on Garrett. I don't care. Either one.
Garrett and Randall Cobb and Randall Cobb. Yeah. That's literally their only option.
Good on Randall Cobb. He's like 105 years old at this point.
It's so funny how many former Packers just went to the Jets solely to play with Rodgers and then boom, nothing. It's like, well, now we're all just here.
It's tough.
Bad football team with a bad.
So yeah, I guess I'm not terrified of anything that they provide on offense, especially without the quarterback that was supposed to make them good. And it's mostly because I know they're not going to. I don't think there's any way on earth they let Zach Wilson loose this week because I think they would get him killed if they did.
Yeah. I mean,
there's two problems in New York right now.
You know, maybe
they can't block, and they won't let him do anything. And they won't let him do anything because they can't block, and he can't make decisions with no time. Yeah. So it's the vicious cycle of, well, what do we do? Because
maybe Trevor Siemian comes in. You know, if they sign Trevor Siemian, he has a good history.
Maybe they'll elevate him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he has a history of losing to the Chiefs. So, I mean, maybe they send him out here.
In Denver with Hackett. Was he in Denver last year with Hackett?
No, I think he was with the Jets last year. I think Trevor Siemian was a Jet last year.
Because the other quarterback on the roster behind Zach Wilson is Tim Boyle.
Yeah, which I don't know if you want Tim Boyle. I mean, either way, you're kind of just having a punching bag.
Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Chiefs defense on a body bag. Over under 5.
Probably, I would probably put it at 4. So I'm gonna say under, but
okay. I'm making these, so I'm not really gonna do
this. Yeah.
Chiefs turnovers over defensive, like forced turnovers.
Yeah.
Over under 2.
I was gonna say 2, so I'd say 2 is a safe.
Well, you have to pick over or under, boss. That's how this works.
Well, I don't want to. I push. It's really, you should be doing half, 1.5.
No, I can set the lines at whatever I need to for this, especially because I think there's a good chance. Especially because I think there's a good chance that they have 3. I almost put it at 2.5, but I figured you'd go 2, so I put it at 2.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll go over. I'll play your games. All right.
Yardage gained by the Jets. Total yardage gained by the Jets.
Yeah.
Over under 200.
Probably under. I mean, that's probably a healthy under. I mean, we just saw the Packers put up like 5 yards total of offense on Thursday Night Football in the first half.
They put in the first half. I'm talking for the whole game.
Yeah,
200 yards.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they could, garbage time be playing against Jack Cochran and Nick Jones out there at cornerback, maybe. But
the Jets. I mean, Garrett Wilson might get some just because he's Garrett Wilson. The kid's good.
Sometimes, I mean, even versus I think last week he only had like less than 20-ish. Versus the Cowboys, he's had like one big chunk, and then that was it. So
he's great. He's a great wide receiver.
He's phenomenal. I mean, absolute dog.
He's
really
got no help at this point because they won't let him out. They won't let it. Again, I keep going back to you made the decision to have him as your backup and be your second guy to learn under Aaron. So, and you always knew this was a possibility because Aaron is 40. So, if you were willing to make him your backup and make him your second in case something happened to Aaron, you have to be willing to take the reins off and let him go. They just aren't going to do it, I don't think.
They're not going to do it.
It's probably good for them this week.
Honestly, I think he has a kind of cushion.
They've got to try to run the ball. So the thing that I am most interested to see is them running the ball and if we can stop it. That's the only thing I'm worried about. It's the only thing I'm concerned with. And I'm not even really concerned. It's the only thing I'm curious to see if the trend continues.
Their only way that they can even get yardage is by doing that. So, I mean,
I just want to see if the Chiefs' defensive trend continues. That's basically what I want to see. I want to see if they continue to shut down teams, completely smother them, completely don't let them up.
Bet money on it, I would say, I think it continues. So
I think it'll be a pretty lopsided game.
Player to watch, Trent McDuffie. I want to see a big game out of Trent, I think, especially with a lesser team like this, to see if he can really take over a game and be. I mean, he takes over. He is a phenomenal player.
He's yet to give up 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he's around the ball at all times. So I would, if I had to make a bet on one player getting a turnover, I would say it's probably Trent McDuffie. What about you? Who do you want to watch this week?
I want to see if they continue to increase Rashee Rice's role in this.
I was going to say I was my second guy. I was going to say Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I want to see if they continue to amp up. I said this in the preseason when everybody was panicking about his drops. I said this right after they drafted him. They're probably going to try to use him more than they've used other guys because he understands zone coverage better.
He is one of the better receivers at.
He also has one of the
soft
best
spots.
He had some of the best hands in college his entire career in college. He did not drop passes. So a guy that understands
huge. I mean, he's one of the better. yak guys in the league so far.
A guy that understands coverages, a guy that doesn't drop the ball, and a guy that yet is excellent in yards after catch is an Andy Reid specialty. I'm going to find ways to get him the football early and often. Remember, Tyreek wasn't a receiver. They tried to get in the ball out of the backfield on kick returns, on punt returns. They're not doing that part with Rashid because they've got other guys for that. But they're doing all the other stuff to try to get in the ball. But he also is a more developed wide receiver than Tyreek was his first year, so they don't have to do as much of the gimmick crap.
Yeah, it's more just like
he's very good.
It's good how he's the position he's at in this Chiefs offense because they have so many mouths to feed and so many guys to cover. It's like really the defenses have kind of been paying him, like leaving him alone these past couple of weeks. It's like
leaving him alone some. A lot of that is because of the amount of zone the Chiefs are seeing that it feels like they're leaving him alone. He's finding the hole.
He's one of the few ones who are actually finding it.
He knows where the holes in the zone. Everybody's so fascinated by the way Travis stops and finds random zones and Patrick knows where he's going.
No one else can manage to do that.
Rashid has been doing that and can do that. And I think you're going to continue to see that develop, and I think they're going to continue to let him try to grow that role. I just talked about what Nate said on Only Weird Games with them letting Tony continue to not maybe take a full allotment of snaps and let Rashid get some more. Look, man, they've got options at weaponry. This is another game where they can test out and feel out more of that weaponry. We saw a much more succinct and structured approach against Chicago than we did in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. First 2 weeks, offense looked pretty bland, pretty vanilla, still trying to figure out where pegs and stuff go on the board and figuring out where to do things and how does it fit. Chicago was a nice little get-right game. This is a much better defense than Chicago.
Good reminder of what a good offense is supposed to look and feel like, you know.
This is a better defense than Chicago.
The boys were pumped up.
I want to see it continue. I want to see them continue to use Rashid, and I also want to see them get Kadarius back involved as long as his toe cooperates.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they might just save Kadarius for a couple more weeks. It's really just, especially this game, you really don't need.
I don't know what you're saving. You need to see if he can go, and you need to see what he can do and continue to do. If he can play, the question isn't him.
They've kind of seen what they. I mean, they know what he can be when they're when he's healthy.
The question is right. Well, you need to be able to make him consistent and used to keeping and being hit in the NFL to stay healthy. The only way you learn how to stay healthy in the NFL is play in the NFL.
I would agree with you in most certain circumstances, but
it's
like
a toe.
This is MetLife.
I agree. It's a toe. Great. It's a little sketchy, and it's MetLife. So
MetLife just claimed many bodies. Maybe just leave Kadarius on the sideline for most of the game. I don't think there's. I think the Chiefs know exactly what they need. I think the fan base wants there to be more proven, but I think the Chiefs know exactly what they have in Tony.
He needs to
when
be
they
consistent.
Need him, they'll use him. You know. But
he needs to be consistently available, and he needs to be consistent when he's available. That's what he needs to do. That's his whole goal this year because the top end is insane.
Yeah, in fantasy land, that sounds great. In reality land, they know. But it's okay. I mean, they'll make it work. They'll make it work even with it. But this week, I don't think we see much of them. So, yeah, with that being said, that's kind of everything that we've got for today. Do we want to do game prediction, score predictions? Is it even – like how do you call lopsided?
I think Kansas City's only like 12.5 or 13 or 13.5. I'd probably take that. I don't think this game's close.
No.
It's like 35-7.
Yeah. I might even take like a
13
minus 22.5 line for them or something crazy, you know, just for fun.
This Jets team is. The defense spends the entire game on the field. The offense will go nowhere until they let the quarterback, whether it's Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, somebody's got to be allowed to play the quarterback position before the offense goes anywhere. Because right now, if I'm Spags, you're getting 8 in the box, and I dare you to beat me.
Exactly.
And you don't know who I'm bringing, so good luck figuring out who's blitzing you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say in the vein of 35-3. Maybe they allow it a field goal. That's about it, you know.
They're gonna do what they did to Jordan Love that first time Jordan Love got real snaps, and I don't think the offense is gonna look like it did that day. So this game's gonna get ruggedly out of hand.
I think so too. So with that being said, everybody tune in Sunday night for a very
Taylor Swift
game.
Taylor Swift's probably going to ride sidecar. I bet you they just if the game gets just bonkersly out of hand, it'll probably be just a solo ISO cam on Taylor on one half of the screen.
She should be on the Manning cast.
Flips back and forth with Travis, and then the rest of the screen is just the game over here on the side, and they're just commentating them, looking at each other and stuff from the sidelines.
Week six, we played Monday Night Football, I think.
Because
we need Travis, to get her on the Manning cast.
That would be fucking sweet.
Yeah. We need
Travis was watching a replay, but apparently he's looking at Travis.
That needs to happen. So
Taylor, Eli, and Peyton.
Imagine that'd be
good.
Like
I don't know where that would go. I mean, that cast has always been interesting, but
yeah. So that's
goodness.
Trust me when I say Chiefs fans, you'll get some entertainment somehow out of this game.
There'll be something to talk about. I hope
maybe just play a drinking game with all the references of Taylor Swift if you want to really have a good night.
That might not be a bad idea. I hope it's not that we're talking about injuries after this game. That's my main thing. Everybody stay healthy.
Yeah.
Win the game, stay healthy. I don't care if you win by 3. I don't care if you win by 30. Win the game, stay healthy.
I might care if you win by 30 a lot more if I place a bet on that, though. So
sure, but
yeah, let's do
for the overall purposes. Win the game, stay healthy.
Of course, but also maybe Pat 300 yards. That'd be nice. Kelsey 100 yards. That'd be nice. We'd really
Travis needs some 100-yard games. He's got to get going if he wants that 1,000 this year.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, there's 17 games. So he has now 16 games, basically. So it's one of those
things. He's down a game, and he didn't have 100 already. So
yeah, he needs to get a couple of those in the book.
Got to get it moving. He's got to keep it rolling.
More time Sunday night in front of Taylor Swift. In
New York, and I hear she lives close.
Yeah,
that's why she's going to be there.
Probably 8 million people. I mean, there's going to be so many people tuned in for this game. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you thought the Bears-Chiefs game did numbers with 24.3 million views?
You thought those were numbers? You don't even see nothing. Right? Sunday Night Football prime time. That was
against the Jets.
The Bears game was a random afternoon game.
Bills, Dolphins, and Patriots fans are tuning in to watch the Jets get shellacked. Giants fans are tuning in to watch the Jets get shellacked. Jets fans are tuning in to watch the Jets get shellacked. Chiefs fans are tuning in to watch the Chiefs, and the rest of the country is tuning in for Taylor Swift.
And then the Swifties are going to be in full force. So shout out to all the Swifties. With that being said, we are going to take up no more time of yours. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to us on this one. Be sure to follow our socials at Kingdom Says Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And check us out on YouTube, Kingdom Says Podcast over there. And we will see you guys next week on another episode of the Kingdom Says